Karen claimed I owed HOA dues. I presented my deed in court and she was ordered to apologize. Have you ever been accused of something so absurd you wondered if the world had lost its mind? That's exactly how I felt when Karen, the self-appointed queen of our neighborhood, stormed up my driveway, waving a stack of papers and demanding I pay $5,000 in overdue HOA dues for a community I wasn't even part of. Her smug grin and pointed finger made it clear she thought she'd cornered me. Little did she know, I had a trump card that would turn her crusade into a courtroom catastrophe. It all started on a crisp autumn morning in our quiet suburban neighborhood. I'd moved into my dream home 6 months earlier, a charming fixer-upper on the edge of town, free from the clutches of any homeowners association. The deed was clear. My property was independent, a rare gem in a sea of HOA-controlled lots. I cherished the Freedomno rules about fence colors, no fines for untrimmed hedges. But Karen, the HOA president of the adjacent Pinewood Estates, had other ideas. She'd been eyeing my property like a hawk, convinced it was part of her domain. Her first move came in the form of a certified letter, claiming I owed dues dating back years before I even owned the house. I laughed it off, assuming it was a clerical error, and sent a polite response with a copy of my deed, clearly stating my exemption. Karen wasn't having it. The letters kept coming, each more aggressive than the last. Failure to comply will result in legal action, one read. I called the HOA office, spoke to a board assistant who promised to look into it, but nothing changed. Then came the day Karen showed up in person, her designer sunglasses glinting as she jabbed a manicured nail at me. "You're making a mockery of our community standards," she shrieked, accusing me of lowering property values with my unkempt lawn. It was mowed 2 days prior. I calmly reiterated that I wasn't part of her HOA and showed her the deed on my phone. She scoffed, called it fake, and stormed off, vowing to see me in court. I thought she was bluffing until I got served with a lawsuit a week later. The lawsuit claimed I owed $5,000 in back dues, plus $2,000 in legal fees, and demanded I comply with Pinewood Estates regulations. I was stunned. How could someone so confidently wrong push this far? I hired a lawyer, Sarah, a no-nonsense woman who specialized in property disputes. She reviewed my deed and chuckled. "This is airtight," she said. "Karen's in for a rude awakening." But as we prepared for court, I learned more about Karen's reign of terror. Neighbors whispered about her bullying tactics, fining people for minor infractions, threatening liens, even forcing one family to repaint their house because the shade of blue clashed with her vision. The twist? A retired surveyor named Mr. Thompson, who'd lived in the area for decades, approached me at a local coffee shop. "Check the HOA's boundary map," he whispered. "Karen's been fudging the lines for years to expand her control." His tip was gold. Court day arrived, and the small county courtroom buzzed with tension. Karen sat across from me, her lawyer a slick man in an expensive suit smirking like they'd already won. She took the stand first, painting me as a deadbeat who dodged dues to undermine the community. Her voice dripped with condescension as she presented a map, claiming my property fell within Pinewood Estates jurisdiction. My lawyer, Sarah, didn't flinch. When it was our turn, she called Mr. Thompson as a surprise witness. The room fell silent as he unfolded an official county survey map, one predating Karen's doctored version. It clearly showed my property outside the HOA's boundaries. Karen's face turned ashen. "That's outdated," she stammered. But the judge wasn't buying it. Sarah then presented my deed, notarized and indisputable, proving I'd never been part of the HOA. The judge's eyebrows shot up as he reviewed the documents. The confrontation peaked when Sarah cross-examined Karen. "Ms. Larson," she asked, "did you verify the property lines before filing this lawsuit?" Karen sputtered, claiming she relied on the HOA's records. Sarah pounced. "Records you altered?" The courtroom gasped. Sarah produced emails, obtained through discovery, showing Karen had instructed the HOA's secretary to adjust the boundary map to include my lot. The judge's gavel silenced Karen's protests. "This is a gross misuse of authority," he declared, his voice sharp. He dismissed the case, ordered Karen to cover my legal fees, and, in a rare move, mandated a public apology for her frivolous and malicious lawsuit. Karen's downfall was swift and spectacular. The judge's ruling spread like wildfire through the neighborhood. At the next HOA meeting, forced to deliver her apology, Karen stood before a packed room, her voice trembling as she read a scripted statement. "I regret any distress caused to my name and acknowledge the error in my claims." Her eyes burned with humiliation, and whispers rippled through the crowd. Neighbors who'd suffered under her thumb began speaking up. One woman shared how Karen had fined her $500 for planting unauthorized roses. Another revealed Karen had tried to strong-arm him into selling his lot to a friend of hers. The meeting turned into a revolt, and by the end, a vote was called to remove Karen as HOA president. She left in tears, her reign shattered. In the weeks that followed, the neighborhood transformed. A new HOA board was elected, led by Mr. Thompson, who promised transparency and fairness. My lawn, once Karen's obsession, became a symbol of freedom. Neighbors even complimented its natural charm. I framed the judge's ruling and hung it in my study, a reminder that truth can topple even the most stubborn tyrants. Karen moved away a month later, her house sold at a loss. Word is she's keeping a low profile in a new town, far from any HOA. Standing up to Karen wasn't just about winning a lawsuit. It was about reclaiming peace for myself and my neighbors. It showed me that one person's courage, backed by facts, can unravel a bully's empire. So what do you think? Was Karen's comeuppance fair? Or should she have faced harsher consequences? Share your thoughts. I am curious to hear where you stand on this clash of right and wrong.